इसकॉन आ गया ना, हम डिटैच हो गए शरीर से। मेरी मासी मेरी नानी मरी बोला तो फिर हंस सकते हो, तो बहुत साल पहले की बात है। But my Masi passed away. She passed away today. This morning she passed away. So I was thinking that she's the eighth child of my grandmother. So there is a concept called Prasava Vairagyam. Every time a woman gives birth, she says, "नहीं नौको रे बाबा." In Marathi they say, "मुझे नहीं चाहिए, अभी नहीं चाहिए बच्चा, बहुत हो गया." I'm just thinking my grandmother would have said this so many times, and she had 8 daughters. So this is Prasava Vairagyam. On the other side, there is Smashana Vairagyam. Every time you pass a crematorium or graveyard or anything, there is a thought that comes to your mind that this life is worthless. इसमें कुछ नहीं रखा है इस दुनिया में. So why is this thought coming into us? Tell me, why is the thought coming into us? First of all, I gave you this background. The most amazing thing is that people think that they will not die now, they will die later. Second is when you are passing through, this is a scenario, you are passing by the side of a graveyard, you getting the thought that इस लाइफ में क्या रखा है, क्यों होता है thought? Where do you get the thought? Nothing is permanent. Okay, great. Why are you getting the thought?
That may not be with us. So if one or the other day we have to leave this body, so we have to get into some other body.
No, that is fine. Why are you getting the thought? This is the justification of once the thought comes, what it means. But in the first case, why should you, who is going through his life otherwise, watching cricket and playing with your mobile apps and God knows playing with what else, and also stuff like playing Happy Families. You know, there's a game called Happy Families. How many of you heard of that? In Happy Families, you go into that game. It's a PlayStation kind of thing. You don't need an identity. After some time, you become the person in that game. You can have your own family. You can run your own business. There is online currency. You can have your own family. You just have to stay alive. So, why should such a person in day-to-day life get this thought when he passes the crematorium? Yes.
So, Prabhu, at that time we met the absolute reality of this material world, like whatever that person who has died, or whatever he earned, whatever relationship he made, or left behind, he passed away. So maybe that is the most probable cause because we get that thought.
This is one reason that this person also, they बोलते हैं ना कि कब्रिस्तान उन लोगों से भरा है जो ये सोचते थे कि मेरे बिना दुनिया नहीं चल सकती. कब्रिस्तान उन लोगों से भरा हुआ है जो ये सोचते थे कि मेरे बिना दुनिया नहीं चल सकती. आप में से कितने लोगों को लगता है कि आपके बिना दुनिया नहीं चल सकती? आप हाथ नहीं उठाओगे, बाहर निकलोगे उठाओ. So this is one understanding that people who have died before us could not take with them whatever they wanted to take or whatever they worked for. What else? Yeah, I'll come to you.
Like someday we will also have to face the same situation, however painful it may be, but we have to undergo that. Because of that fear inculcates, and we thought in such thought process.
Second point. Who else has something to say?
प्रभु के मतलब इतनी मेहनत करने का फायदा क्या है? क्योंकि हम अगर हमें कुछ we are going to get something, we are struggling for something, and we are not achieved it. But what if we die before completing it? What's the use of doing all this?
Fear of not meeting our objectives.
Yes, so it's useless if we die the day before achieving it.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Please give them a big hand. Apart from this, there is a thought fundamentally ingrained in us. How many of us want to die? I'm not saying about how many want others to die. How many of us want to die? Nobody. You want to die? Which color do you want to die? Maro, maro, pakro, maro. So, so nobody wants to die. How many of us want to uh, grow old? I'm just thinking if the right word is that. I must be like almost 3 times your age. How old are you? 20. Mostly 20, right? I'm 52. So it's like almost, you are? Yeah, so you're almost like half my age. Others are almost 1/3 my age. So one thing that we have to understand is that because we are permanent, that understanding is already ingrained in our psyche. We have forgotten that. We are permanent, so we don't want to die. But unfortunately, the we who is permanent is not this we. This body is temporary. But we think we are the body. Atma is what we are. Atma, Ruh, Jiva, Brahman, soul, whatever that we are. Definitely not the body. We are definitely not the body. Everybody knows we are not the body. Every body knows we are not the body. So this is a clear understanding. So because we are permanent in a temporary setting, we don't want to remain temporary. But we cannot stop it. Therefore, there is fear of death. When Brahma created the material universe, this is one of the fears that he created, fear of death. Bhagavatam says that. So all of us fundamentally are scared of death, our death. They're scared of our death. So fear of losing everything that we have, and understanding that whoever gained something will lose it eventually. Then when we pass a dead situation, we get these kind of feelings. However, the Gita says, Jatasya dhruvo mritir dhruvam janma mritasya ja tasmad apariharyartam natam sochitum arhasya or tat yudhyasya bharata. Whoever is born has to die, and whoever is dead has to be born. Therefore, in this endeavor, don't get scared, keep fighting. Krishna tells Arjuna. But our problem is we are not clear what will happen after death. So there is a fear of the unknown. So we don't want to die because we don't know what happens. So we want to prolong our life in this environment. But the point is, there is a saying in English about the corporate world. It is called a rat race. Corporate world is called a rat race. But if you win a rat race, what are you? You're still a rat, no? So no matter what happens in this particular setting, no matter what you do, you are what you are. You got to give it up. It is a temporary setting. And you understand fundamentally that this is all that is. So now we have fear that what will happen now? This is what I know. And this will go away. What about what I don't even have? How will it be? So there is a certain fear of the unknown. So then what happens is we want to prolong our existing situation. So खींचना चाहते हैं, elastic की तरह खींचना चाहते हैं. So doctor, मेरे कुछ भी करो, मेरा life बढ़ा दो. Everybody says, 70-year-old, 80-year-old, everybody says, मेरा life बढ़ा दो, lifespan बढ़ा दो. और लास्ट में डॉक्टर क्या करता है? चश्मा उतारता बोलता सॉरी अभी इनको दवा की नहीं दुआ की जरूरत है. So that's what happens. So fundamentally, we try everything to prolong our stay in a place where we don't belong to. So that is the most amazing thing. We don't belong here. We want to stay here. So the intelligent man, what does he do? The intelligent man, you know the story probably about this man who was allowed to be king for 1 year. अब 1 साल के बाद उसके पहले जो भी राजा बना था उसको बहिष्कृत किया जाता था. They used to be excommunicated or they used to be banished. They used to be banished to the forest island nearby. तो सब 1 साल जो है मौज मस्ती करते हुए, फिर 1 साल के बाद हंसते हुए आते हैं लोग, रोता हुआ जाता है, उनका वो फंडा हो गया. But when this particular person is an intelligent man, he had probably attended IYS classes. So what he did was, when he was made king, he did not spend a single day in the capital. What did he do? He spent 1 year in the forest. He spent 1 year in the forest. He built a fort. He built an army. He got a hospital done. He got a temple built. He got farmlands cultivated with grains, with fruits, with flowers, with vegetables, etc. He got fresh water sources provided. He got all the facilities provided for in that particular place, which is where he is going to spend the rest of his life. Instead of enjoying what he has currently, which may have more facilities, but which is temporary. If you are allowed to stay in a room with the prettiest woman in the world, there is no such thing as bad karma. You can do anything. Assume that there is no papa. And you are given a great feast also. But the only condition is when you come out, somebody will smash your head and kill you. ये बुरा सौदा है, अच्छा सौदा है. अच्छा बोलने के लिए बुरा ऐसा बोल दिया कई लोग, बुरा. So why is it a बुरा सौदा? It is temporary. So what is wrong if it is temporary? Really, because philosophically बहुत बढ़िया लगता है. It is temporary. What is wrong if it is temporary? कल का क्या है किसने देखा, हम तो आज ही जीते हैं. Sorry? Overthinking. Yeah, so what is wrong? We just enjoy temporarily. Pain could be higher than the pain could be higher than the enjoyment proportionally. You will cry afterwards. Afterwards, you're going to cry. Distractors. They are the lust, anger. They are the. ये कौन है पंडित आदमी कौन है? बोलो. वो लोग सेवा के हाँ भक्ति करें भटकते क्या इसकी टेस्ट लेते. अच्छा ऐसा कुछ नहीं है ऐसा बोल रहा. Yeah. Because of the absence of it, you get more sorrow. Yeah, good point. I may be very, very happy, but I may not have the happiness with me longer. So what happens is, if I had not had the pleasure in the first case, things would have been possibly okay. But you give me the pleasure, बेचारा आदमी सो रहा है, उसको जगा के बोले, ए बेटा लंच नहीं मिलेगा तेरे को. वो वही ना फाइनली. You give him थोड़ा टेस्ट दे दिया, उसको चस्का लगा दिया, फिर बोले एक्सक्यूज मी मैं नहीं मिलेगा आगे से. हो गया फिर. ये ही संस्पर्श सजाब होगा दुख योने एवते आद्यंतवंत कौन्तेय न तेषु रमते बुधा. The intelligent person does not partake of these sources of misery. They may externally masquerade as sources of joy, but eventually they are resulting in distress or misery. Like you know, you're going to get your head smashed. There's famous stories given in Bhagavatam about a person who is running away. He's being chased by an elephant and a tiger and all that. So he jumps into a well. Inside the well, he sees that there are snakes, poisonous snakes. So he's hanging by the plant or a creeper that is on the well. The creeper is being eaten away by 2 rats. Black and white. Okay, yeah, sorry, thank you. नाम क्या है? Fires का? मुझे भी मालूम नहीं ऐसे. So, but on top of the well, there is a honeycomb, मधुमक्खी का छत्ता. उसमें से मधु टपक रहा है. And this guy is, so this is our situation. We are going for that little bit of pleasure which may not last long. Not just not last long, but will ensure that you will not last long. The pleasure will definitely not last long, but you will also not last long. And maybe because of the pleasure itself, you will not last long. If you had not taken that pleasure, maybe things would not have been so bad. So in Shastra, we have two things. One is called prayas, one is called shreyas. What is the difference? Prayas means that, yeah. Yeah, so if you think prayers is the solution to life's problem, then there can only be prayers for you. Prayers is short term. So somebody's got an exam the next day and is watching IPL. But you will say he's majoring in cricketing management. As a name, before an exam, what is Shreyas? You at least relax well, study well, discuss it with somebody, or pray well. That may make sense rather than watching a cricket match, which may get you more excited. So that is Shreyas and praise. Similarly, when we spend our permanent existence in a temporary setting, pursuing temporary activities which will come to an end, are we being intelligent or not being intelligent? Yes or no? Are we intelligent? No. So the question needs to be asked. Why are we here in the first case?
To
enjoy, correct? How will we enjoy? What is enjoyment? Who is gratifying? Indriyani parani ahur. Table, inert matter. Above the inert matter is the senses. Because I can perceive the table cannot perceive me. So I am higher than my senses are higher than the inert matter. Indriyani parani ahur. Higher than the senses is the mind. Indriyebhya para manaha. Manasastu paro buddhi. Yo buddhe paratastu saha, which is us, the soul. Now just picture this. If you have a very, very important meeting, interview, or exam scheduled the next day, you have only 2 hours left. Will you be bothered about eating? You are anxious about that meeting, right? Will you be bothered about eating? So which pleasure is higher, mental pleasure or sensory pleasure? Now just imagine a person is having lot of fights with his wife. They're about to divorce. And she doesn't cook for him. He doesn't have any time to cook because he's a scientist. He's working on a very, very important invention. दिन रात एक करके मेहनत कर रहा है. What pleasure is he getting? He is getting intellectual pleasure because sensory pleasure he is not bothered about eating. Mental pleasure he is not bothered about peace of mind because his wife is giving so much pain to him mentally. Mental torture she is giving him. So higher than mental pleasure is intellectual pleasure. Now Krishna says above all this is Yo Buddhe Paratasura, because we are spirit soul. If I am riding a car, who is getting more pleasure, the driver or me? The driver is getting more pleasure. He's driving the car. किसको ट्रैफिक मैनोवर करना पड़ता है, किसको पुलिस को फेस करना पड़ता है, किसको सिग्नल पर रोकना पड़ता है? ड्राइवर को। मेरे को क्या कर रहा है? मैं आंख बंद करके सो सकता हूँ, या जब कर सकता हूँ, या लेक्चर पढ़ सुन सकता हूँ, या गप्पे मार सकता हूँ फोन पे. सो इज गेटिंग मोर प्लेजर. मारो उसको. So naturally, the intelligence is the driver. Who is the passenger? The soul. So the soul naturally derives greater pleasure. So the highest pleasure, therefore, is what pleasure? Spiritual pleasure. It is enjoyment. In other words, if we derive spiritual enjoyment, we may not be bothered if we don't get intellectual pleasure, mental pleasure, sensory pleasure, etc. Yes or no, logically? So, there are many things in our life that keep us occupied from our core focus. We have to identify those things which are time wasters, because we have only limited time left, very less time left. When you go to people and say, please come to the temple, they say, we don't have time. They say, they don't say. What is your reply? Yeah, yes, there is no time, you will die anytime. That's the point. Because we have so less time left, we have to make the best use of a bad bargain. We have to do it very, very fast. Therefore, in other words, Rishabhadev tells his sons, Tapo Divyam Putraka Yena Sattvam Shudhet Yasmat Brahma Saukyam Tvanantam. Brahma Saukyam means spiritual pleasure. Now that you are the human form of life, what should you do? Tapasya. Sounds very scary, na? लेकिन मैं तो नवयुवक हूं, मैंने तो अभी तक पूरी तरह जिंदगी जी भी नहीं है. 4G, 5G, whichever G, you will never be able to G. This is the nature of the world. Is there any rule that, what is your age? How old are you? 17 years? 17 years? Old. How old are you? 18 years? Old. How old are you? 21 years? इतना सोच रहे हो इसके बाद भी. So no matter how old you are, there is no age for death. When a lady came to Buddha saying that my son died, please give him back life, the Buddha told her to go to any house in the locality where there is no death and get him some sesame seed. Then he will bring the child back to life. Did she succeed? No. There is no such place. It is a reality. And when Maharaj Chitraketu, the king, he pleased sage Angira and he got a child. They gave him the name what? Harsha Shoka. Harsha means happiness, Shoka means distress or sadness, misery. Why? Because he was the only child when he had crores of wives. How many crores? 10 crore wives or something, or 1 crore wives. How many? Anybody knows? Something 10 crore, I think. What difference? One is itself difficult to handle. So 1 crore wives. The rest is just the details. The pain can be less, more, greater, greatest, but it's pain all the time. So on the first birthday of the child, the other queens, his main queen was Kritadyuti, his favorite queen. So Kritadyuti's Sautains, as I say, they killed the poor child by poisoning him on his first birthday. So the same child who gave him Harsha gave him Shoka. So now Narada Muni and Angira Muni came back and he was lamenting over the child. Oh, my son, I'm missing you. So Narada, Acharya say, he entered the body of the child. After saying that I will bring the child back to life, he entered the body of the child and started speaking. So then Narada Muni himself asked himself, so my dear living entity, don't you see your father and mother are lamenting over you? Please come back. So now Narada Muni and others tell Chitraketu that It is your enemy from the previous birth who is born as a child now. Because you hurt your enemy in the previous birth. Now he has come to give you pain by becoming your son and dying early before you. So the same child who gives so much joy, my bundle of joy, can actually give you pain also. And then what happened? Then he says, why don't you come and live your life fully with your parents? So the child asks, Janarad Muni asks, which parents in which birth are you talking about? See, same question Srivas Pandit's son asked when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought him back to life in the middle of Sankirtan at Srivas Angan. How many of you have been to Srivas Angan in Mayapur? Yes, some of you have been. It's a beautiful place. This is where this Sankirtan started there, really speaking, 500 years back. So again, the same thing. Mahaprabhu brings back the living entity and he said, I am eternally your servant, Mahaprabhu. I have no business. I have gone on. I want to just go back to your lotus feet. So for cost to correct Krishna Pave, if you do some difficult stuff, you put yourself through some difficulty, some tapasya, voluntarily accept some difficulty, then you will get God. That's the simple principle. What speak about God? For achieving anything, you will have to undergo some pain. Is it easy that you can just study and there's an exam also? You know what is didalicalinophobia? Anybody knows? There's a fear of examination. Is there? There are so many people who are scared of examinations. That is why it is there, no? Even now, sometimes I get dreams at night that there is a chemistry paper, I have to do a balanced equation, and I don't even know what is the chemical formula. And trust me, even then I did not know. So the point, I mean, by the way, I did not graduate in science. So the point is, there is a fear drawn into our mind of an examination, the fear of the unknown. So if we have to be courageous to face that examination, the beauty of this examination is that it is a surprise test. Right? You don't know the date of the examination. But yes, you know the questions in the examination. That's good, no? So all you have to do is to prepare for that examination. That preparation is tapasya, voluntarily accepting some difficulty. Now I am asking you a question. What are some of the things that normally other youth do that you think are time wasters, which we should avoid in case we have to prepare for death? Please raise your hands and tell me. I'm not talking about this elite group of youngsters. Follow. Avoiding movies. Okay. Sant aadmi hai. TikTok videos, yeah, because who has time for movies? Huh? That's 3 hours. TikTok videos, 15 seconds. That is itself taking time. Yes. Sleeping less, it's a waste of time. Sleeping more is a waste of time. Okay, good. Yes. Momaya. What is Momaya? Sorry? Living all the relationships and leave all relationships. Why, Baba? Why leave relationships? Don't worry. It is your understanding. I'm not questioning it. I want to know. That's all. Like after we know the end of our body is dead, we are relating with the people and you're giving your responsibility, priorities, emotions to that. Okay. So we're giving priority to something that's not going to last after we die. Okay. What else? Playing games like video games. Playing games. Quit playing games with my heart. Gambling. But the government is itself promoting. Why should we not do it? India खेलेगा. एक जगह राम, दूसरी जगह रम्मी. Very interesting times we live in. जिसको माइक मिला उसने रख लिया बस. What else do you think are time wasters in our life? Intoxication is a time wastage. How is it time wastage?
Drains your body, mind.
It's just that when you drink, it's not like you are having very important discussions. You may either, it's not like you're going to discuss your next day's examinations when you're drinking. It is to forget what is the reality around you. This reality itself is temporary. Imagine. We are trying to forget a temporary reality for which we go to even more temporary reality. So when Hiranyaksha's dead body was lying, his wife was crying, their mother Diti was crying. So Hiranyakashipu, the great philosopher, don't laugh, his name comes in Bhagavatam as Sri Hiranyakashipu Vacha. You know that? Check. It's a Sri Hiranyakashipu Vacha. Because who is Hiranyakashipu? वहां से है, बिग बॉस के पास से आए हैं. So he tells him the story of King Suyajna, who was killed in battle. His wives were lamenting, and when they were lamenting, they were trying to keep his body in an oil pot to preserve it. Oh, my husband, you left us. Oh, you great hero. They were crying. At that time, a young Brahmana boy came. So, story ke andar, story. The Brahmana boy tells them the story of two Kulinga birds. Story ke andar, story ke andar, story. ये बोल रहे हैं कि there was a couple of Kulinga birds or Kurari birds. So the children or the fledgling chicks, they got captured in a net by a fowler, bird catcher. So then the mother started lamenting, oh, my little children, when will I hear your kiki? How will you live? How will I live without you? She was lamenting. And as she was lamenting and lamenting, she got caught in the net. Now the poor husband, he saw, he got पूरा वैराग्य आ गया उसके अंदर, श्मशान वैराग्य. उसने बताया क्या रखा है इस जीवन में, all his wife, his children, all his attachment is not worth it. As he was speaking like this, he was also captured. So the boy who was Yamaraja, through the story, told the wives of Suyajna that death does not leave anybody. So be prepared for your death instead of crying for another person's death. When he told this story, the wives of Suyajna got peace of mind and they cremated his body. And when they heard this story, Hiranyaksha's wives also got peace of mind and they cremated his body. So what does this really mean? Every person dying should remind us that the clock is ticking. आज मैं कल तू. Repeat after me. आज मैं कल तू. This is your mantra. So when we have such limited time, and when death is such a permanent reality, and when we know that we are not the body but we are the soul, we have to avoid those activities that waste our time. Forget for a moment whether we will be happy by these activities or not. What is more intelligent? To pursue those activities which will give us permanent pleasure or potentially permanent pleasure, or those activities which you know are anyway not permanent. Which is better? So like if somebody came to Prabhupada or Bhaktivinoda Thakur or previous acharyas, all instances are quoted. कि आप हरे कृष्णा वाले हरे कृष्णा बोलते हो, प्रसाद खाते हो, कुछ और कुछ नहीं खाते, बस ये सब करने के बाद लास्ट में पता चला कृष्ण है नहीं, क्या होगा आप लोगों का? It's a famous story. This is one of the reasons I am in Krishna consciousness even now, after 24 years. So he said that we Hare Krishnas, we go early to bed, early to rise. Makes everybody healthy, wealthy, and Krishna conscious. So Benjamin Franklin, the third president of USA, said this. It is not some sadhu. He said early to bed, early to rise makes everybody healthy, healthy and wise. We eat only wholesome grains, green leafy vegetables, dairy products, fruits, etc. We don't gamble, we don't cheat, we don't do illicit sex, we don't do drugs, we don't do intoxication, we don't do meat eating. We sing and dance every day, or at least once a week if I'm an IYS. So at the end of it, if there is no Krishna, what is the loss? You lead a good life. But what if you live a life of nonsense and then you find out that Krishna is there? Then तुम्हारा हाल क्या होगा? सौदा सही है? इतने लाइफ आपने दिए माया को, अभी भी यहीं सड़ रहे हो ना? अभी लग रहा है सड़ नहीं रहे हो तो मेरे उम्र में पता चल जाएगा सड़ना क्या होता है. तो one life give to Krishna, just one life give to Krishna and see क्या होता है. क्या नुकसान होगा? शराबी कबाबी स्त्री लंपट बॉस आपको सैलरी दे सकता है कॉलेज से ग्रेजुएट होने के बाद. अखिलांड कोटि ब्रह्मांड नायक कृष्ण आपको कुछ नहीं देंगे? क्या लगता है किस चीज का डर है? Therefore Krishna tells Arjuna, Tasmat Tarveshu Kaleshu Mam Anusmara Yuddhacha. Fight your battles, but remember me and fight. Krishna is not just saying go meditate in the Himalayas. He says remember me and fight. He also doesn't say कर्म ही पूजा है. कर्म ही पूजा मतलब क्या? मेरी पत्नी का नाम पूजा है, मैं उसके लिए कर्म कर रहा हूं. No. कर्म ही पूजा मतलब whatever I do, यत करोषि यत स्नासि यत जुहोषि ददास्यत यत तपस्यसि कौन्तेय तत् कुरुष्व मद अर्पणम. You're offering everything to Krishna. Your activities, your studies as a student. How many of you are studying for some course or the other? How many of you are working? Some of you. So those who are students, the purpose of your life is to you should have at least 8 hours of solid studies, practical. 8 hours of studies. College में जो पढ़ाई उसका अतिरिक्त आपकी पढ़ाई. How much practical service is expected of you? 8 hours. तो तुम लोग बाहर क्या टाइम पास कर रहे हो क्या? How many of you study 8 hours? हाथ ऊपर करो. उसमें बहुत काम है बाहर, बहुत काम है. क्या है? काम है, काम. लस्ट. बहुत काम है. 8 hours practical service that includes studies. Study 8 hours. जम के पढ़ो. Rest of the time you have good morning program, chant your rounds, Hare Krishna, whatever best you can do. At least once a week come for Mangal Aarti. Come. क्या जाता है? सारी लोग, कई लोग 4:30 को वापस आते हैं घर पे ऑफिस से नाइट ड्यूटी करके. तो कौन सा तीर मारा 4:30 को उठ के? फ्लाइट सुबह 4:30 को उठोगे नहीं क्या? बहन के शादी के मंगलम भगवान विष्णु अगर है तो उठोगे कि नहीं? बहन की शादी है तो 4:30 को करोगे नहीं करोगे? तो हफ्ते में एक दिन करो ना यार. हफ्ते में एक दिन 4:30 कम फॉर मंगल आरती. Sing with the devotees, dance with the devotees. A family that prays together stays together. A family that sings together clings together. A family that dances together advances together. So stay together with the devotees. Come into Madi. Such a beautiful, wonderful experience. When I was working, I was working for 2 national newspapers. From the year 99 and 2000, I connected to ISKCON. I joined full time in 2009. For 9 years, on many days, I went for Mangal Aarati daily. Then I would go to office, depending on the distance, because I stayed in many places. Once a week, 4:30 Mangal Aarati, chant with the devotees, sit with the devotees. Daily basis, even if it's an online japa group, chant with the devotees. Get nourished, your full strength. Then Lado, Lodbo, Korbo, Jitbo, Karo. 8 hours solid study. और जो स्टडी करके जो नौकरी मिलेगी या जो भी मिलेगी, बिजनेस करोगे जो भी करोगे, so whatever वेतन you get, give a portion of that to Krishna's service. I used to pledge 30% of my salary, directly, indirectly, when I was working. There are devotees who do 50%. My spiritual master used to do 100%. He used to earn the money from Pepsi Cola in Canada. I used to give the money to Prabhupada. He said, okay, now give me my expenditure, whatever I have to do. That is the way you use your intelligence in Krishna service. Study like anything. And from whatever you benefit you get out of it, you give some results to Krishna. If you don't give from your hard-earned karma to Krishna, you will get the reactions. If you're working, please pledge a certain percentage. Srila Radhanath Swami Guru Maharaj says, give till it pinches. दुखना चाहिए. 10 रुपए जो दे सकता है वो 2 रुपया देगा तो कोई तीर नहीं मार रहा. Give a little bit more than what you're capable of. It is called stretch target, operating in the stretch zone. Extend yourself. So if you're working, give some portion of it. If you're studying, study hard. Whatever you get out of it, please give it to Krishna. Whatever be the situation, give your time, your ability, your faculty, your propensity, your proclivity, your tendencies to Krishna. अपनी सारी प्रतिभा, अपनी शक्ति, क्षमता न्योछावर कर दो भगवान को. If you are a good artist, paint for Krishna. Good poet, write for Krishna. Good journalist, capable of covering news reports, write news reports for Krishna. Good photographer, click photos of Krishna. Scientists, find out a way, use scientific theories to explain the existence of God. If you're a good speaker, speak about Krishna. Good salesman, distribute Krishna's books. Krishna consciousness is not rocket science. Krishna consciousness is simple for the simple and sublime for the advanced. And it is complicated for the crooked. जो ठेड़ा है उसको आसान नहीं होता है. क्यों? सबसे ठेड़े तो हमारे ठाकुर हैं. 3 जगह ठेड़े हैं. खेल के तो देखो उनसे ठेड़ा क्या होगे तुम. So therefore give one life to Krishna. Don't waste time in other things. Okay, now your time. We have about 10 minutes. 10 minutes? 15 minutes. Sure. So summum bonum of the understanding is that we are permanent, but we get uncomfortable because we are in a temporary environment, in a temporary body, and we think that we want to be permanent here. Because of that, we are scared of death. Still, we do all those things which are making us forget the fact that this body is temporary. We do so many things that are connected to the body. That is most amazing. And therefore, the intelligent person will be one who prepares for the ultimate examination properly. He will undergo some difficulty, like the man for 1 year of his monarchy duties, he was undergoing difficulty. But after 1 year, he had चांदी लॉटरी लग गई उसको. लाइफ बार उसको बढ़िया सा आइलैंड में जगह मिल गया. सोच लो आपको मैंने बोइंग 747 दिया, आपने उसको उठा के बंजारा हिल में जाके खेती करी, क्या फायदा? It makes sense, no? So you got a human body, make use of it properly. So whatever time you have, by the way, it is not your time. Krishna says, "Kalo asmin lokakshaykar pravruto." Time is Krishna. Because it's Krishna's energy, what right do you have to waste something that doesn't belong to you? Tell me. जो आपका नहीं है उसका आप कैसे खर्चा कर रहे हो? बोलो बोलो. Time belongs to Krishna, so we should use it properly. So this 8 hours of hard work plus a good strong morning program once a week Mangalarati, please do that and pledge some portion of your time for voluntary services to Krishna. And spend time, hang out with the devotees, hang out, be with the boys. Don't be with bhagodas. You know, bhagodas, escapist people who think kal ka kya hai kisne dekha, hum to aaj hi jeete. Because I have no idea about the future. I'm scared of the future, so therefore I live in the present. We are cognizant of what will happen in the future. So we are working, using our present to prepare for the future. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Questions, comments? Pucho, pucho. He just raised the hand and passed the mic. कोई गा रहा है, सुबह मंगल आरती में आया नहीं था, मॉर्निंग ट्यून गा रहा है.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, that you have mentioned that we should spend the 8 hours of time for studies. So most of us who are students, actually, they spend most of the time in college in in classes and lab, all these things, then we cannot have solid studies. So how to manage solid studies and also devotional service and also attend college.
College is how many hours every day?
So,
College is 8 hours. College is 10 hours. Ana jana sab
7 hours college.
Inside college, how much time do you spend? 6 hours. Other than that, how much do you study?
Maximum 2 to 3 hours.
ऐसे फेंकते हो, लंबा लंबा फेंकते हो, 8 घंटा कौन पढ़ रहा है बाबू? हम भी वहीं से निकले, आश्रम में पैदा नहीं हुए. उसको बोलते लंबा लंबा फेंकना. So whatever time you have apart from college time, you should use it either for spiritual pursuits or for academic pursuits. What else do you have to do as a student? Entertainment कहाँ लिखा आपके ड्यूटीज में? इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में है क्या फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज में एंटरटेनमेंट है? Forget it, it's not even spiritual. Indian constitution. It's not required. तो हम अपने आप निकाल रहे हैं अपना चवन्नी. युक्ताहार विहार से युक्त चेष्टा से कर्म से युक्त स्वप्न व बोध से योग भाव दुखा. So only a person who is regulated in his eating, sleeping, and entertainment, he can progress spiritually. Make sense? Yes or no? Yes. और हम क्या बताएं आपको? हाँ? No questions, sir. That means हाँ. अच्छा okay. आपने तो नहीं भेजा चैट पे? वो लगा कि कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछ रहा बेचारा, उन्होंने डाल दिया डमी
No, no,
क्वेश्चन.
Prabhu. One question came. I told them to send to me. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, can you give some tips for us to get engaged in our duty for prolonged life, prolonged time, like 8 hours for Krishna's pleasure?
8 hours for Krishna's pleasure is very clear that every day before you start going to college, please pray to Krishna after completing your rounds. It's a spiritual sandwich. Have a good morning program. And when you're entering the college, please ensure that you pray properly, that I have got this opportunity, let me study properly, do it as my duty, so that whatever I earn through my capabilities, I can use it to serve you. So bring that consciousness in your heart. In class, don't waste your time speaking with people, doing gappe, wasting time on the mobile, WhatsApp. Focus on your time, because time belongs to Krishna. Don't waste his energy. Be respectful to teachers, because Vidya Dadati Vinayam. If we want education, if you get education, you will become humble. If you are humble, you will get education. Both are true. Shraddhavan labade jnanam. Even if it is material knowledge, you should be respectful to your teacher. So be there, do that. Don't get into time wasters. Like, I just got a message from somebody, some devotees who are preaching, because in Delhi we preach in JNU, Jawaharlal Nehru University, which used to be साम्यवादियों का अड्डा. बट आपको जान के खुशी होगी, पिछले 2 साल से हम जन्माष्टमी मना रहे हैं वहां पर, और पिछले 2 साल से गीता जयंती मना रहे हैं. So for Janmashtami this time we had 1,500 people visiting. साम्यवादियों का अड्डा. तो एक हफ्ते पहले वहां पे चुनाव थे और एक्सट्रीम राइट और एक्सट्रीम लेफ्ट के बीच में मुक्केबाजी हो गई, जो भी हुआ. So don't get into all that. You can go for cultural competitions, etc., where you can build skills that will be used for Krishna. Suppose you're a good singer, go for cultural competition. If you can, go get some good prizes. It will look good on your CV, and then use it in Krishna service. If you have abilities, use it in Krishna service. Why? Because abilities belong to Krishna. Yadyat vibhutimat satam srimad urjitam eva tattadevavigachatam mama tejo amsha sambhavam. Whatever qualities you see in the material world is just a fragment of my opulence, Krishna says. So if he has given you some ability, use it in Krishna service. Build that talent, use it constructively. Education, co-curricular, extracurricular. When I was in college, I used to be a quizzer and a debater. I got a lot of prizes in those. How it helped me was because even when I could not, in studies, I could not achieve so much. Because of my co-curriculars, I got very good marks. I got grace marks from the university prizes and everything that I got. So I could get into good college, etc. So many ways it can help you. So you can spend less time worrying about your achievements. Whatever capability you have, you use it. But don't use it for your sense enjoyment. Whatever comes out of it, use it in Krishna's service. Like if you're a good singer, practice properly. Tomorrow you can sing for Krishna. If you're a good dancer, you can dance for Krishna. If you're a good poet, you can write for Krishna. So your abilities you can use for Krishna. So therefore, maximize whatever talents you have by engaging them in Krishna's time. Don't waste time. Respect your preceptors, your teachers, and don't engage in fizul ke झमेले. Get in a व्यवसाय आत्मिका बुद्धि एक है कुरुनंदन. Focus on your purpose and only focus on your purpose. That way, because you are not wasting Krishna's time, Krishna will also reciprocate. He will give you more time. My devotee is spending time in my service, so let me give him more time in my service. So he'll give you the intelligence to serve. You take one step towards Krishna, Srila Prabhupada says, Krishna will take 10 steps towards you. 10 steps. आपको क्या लगता है? Krishna will not reciprocate if you work hard. Yes or no?
Yes.
Next question.
Yeah.
Prabhu, thank you very much for an enlightening class. Prabhuji, I came to know to prepare for the final exam date, but there is laziness. So how to come over that laziness? It is more like spiritual laziness.
No something called, if it is laziness, it is not spiritual. That's the first point. Laziness is a material trait. It is because of kama guna. So Bhishmadev says to overcome sleep, get up. Bhishmadev says. Okay. APJ Abdul Kalam says, if you really want to fulfill your dreams, wake up. If you don't want to accept Bhishmadev, at least accept Abdul Kalam. Accept somebody. In the material world also, to be successful, you have to sacrifice laziness and sleep. So why not in the spiritual world? Anyway, you have to work hard. Nahi kaschit kshanam api jatu tishthyate akarmakrit. The living entity cannot sit quiet for one moment without doing anything. Something he has to do anyway. So why not do it for Krishna? Try your best and do it for Krishna. If you are not able to do it yourself, ekaki amar nahi paye bal harinam sankirtanai. So associate with those who are not lazy. Good qualities, jaisa sang vaisa rang. Good qualities come from people who have the good qualities. You associate with them, then you will get the good qualities. Why are you coming to the temple? Why can't you do bhakti at home? Why are you coming to the temple? Why are you coming to the temple? Why are you coming to the temple? बोलना तो पड़ेगा अभी 2-3 लोग बोल चुके हैं. ये trick है. Srila Prabhupada mentions in Nectar of Instruction that in the Hare Krishna movement, all these temples are built so that it can provide opportunity for visitors to associate with devotees and engage in the 6 loving exchanges. What are the 6 loving exchanges? Giving gifts, taking gifts, feeding them, getting fed, and opening the heart, revealing in confidence and inquiring. So these 6 things you can do with devotees. The more you do it, they will tell you how to advance in bhakti, how to make your life more powerful in service of Krishna. So that solution, Krishna Bhakti Janma Mula hoy sadhu sang. The root of bhakti is sadhu sangha. Bhaktistu Bhagavat Bhakta Sangena Parijaya. Bhakti comes from bhaktas. So laziness will come from lazy people. So don't associate with those who are lazy. Associate with people who ask you to be not lazy. Uttishtata, Jagrata, Praptavaran Nibodata, Shurasya Dhara, Nishita Dhuratyaya. It's razor's edge. It can cut both ways. दोनों धार की तलवार है, दोनों जगह है, दोनों जगह काट सकता है. So we have to be very, very careful. सावधानी हटी दुर्घटना घटी. सोना मतलब जो सो गया वो हो गया. And sleep means death. Thomas Alva Edison says that sleep is like a drug. The more you have it, the more you will need it. एक गलत फहमी कि ज्यादा सो लिया, मैंने बहुत सो लिया. There is no limit. The more you sleep, the more you will need sleep. So laziness is just a bhai of sleep. Lethargy. Tamogun, because of tamogun. To overcome tamogun, you should come at least to satogun. So even if you fall from satogun, you are coming to rajogun. There is some activity. You do something for Krishna. So try to raise yourself to satogun by associating with those who are in satogun.
So, as per Sanskrit terminology, the word saha refers to masculine gender. In the translation of shloka, Indriyani prana ahur,
Parani ahur.
parani ahur. Also, the word saha is translated to he, soul. Why is soul given masculine gender? Although we attribute ourselves to be a servant, that is Prakriti, not a Purusha.
In Hindi, Atma is Striling. In Hindi, Atma is Striling. Why? प्यासी आत्मा हॉरर मूवी देखा है ना क्यों So if male female is these are all connotations of the material world it is just a conventional usage Krishna is Purusha we are is part and parcel it doesn't make a difference whether you want to call him as Prakriti to be used in his, for his enjoyment because he's Purusha or because you are his Amsha you can be male. What difference does it make? But the reality is the soul is neither male or female. It is just a conventional usage. It is just a convention that is kept into this. Sa is not used for Atma. Atma in general is considered genderless. So if you're neuter, what is the word instead of Saha and Sa? What is the word used for Napumsaka? You want to use that word for Atma? It looks inappropriate. Therefore, you're using Sa, that's all. It's convention of usage. It has nothing to do with the fact that the soul is male. Whether it is Pati or Patni. Who is the Pati? Krishna. Whether it is Patni's Pati or Pati's Pati. Both are Krishna, na? So where is the question of pulling, swilling? Am I making sense here? Your question, I will take his question, then we'll come back to online. Yeah.
Yes.
You have a question or you have a mic?
Yes, question.
Online is over.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
These are on-site questions. Don't say offline. This is the real one. That is virtual. So this is on-site. Don't say offline. Then you're off track.
So Prabhu, we can control our physical actions, like what we say, like, but Prabhu, the mind.
We can't control our physical actions.
Let's say, Prabhu, we can try. We can try.
You can try. Okay.
To some extent, we can try to control our physical actions. But Prabhu, the mind,
If you have diarrhea, can you control your physical actions?
so Prabhu, the mind, the lusty thoughts that comes, how should we manage? Like,
Yeah.
how should we?
So lust comes from Rajoguna, mode of passion. So if mode of passion is predominant, which means we engage in activities that are in the mode of passion, then the mode of passion will increase. So you should give the soul activities that are more in the mode of goodness. The more it is in the mode of goodness, it gets elevated to the level of goodness. From that platform of goodness, lust cannot touch you so much. But Krishna says that abhyasenastu kaunteya vairagyana uchyate for the mind. It is a mind which gives you concept of I am the doer, I am the thinker, I am the enjoyer, etc. So if you're operating at mental platform and if you're becoming a slave to the mind, you will always get into this trouble. Therefore, we have to control the mind. How do you control the mind? By chanting louder than the mind. Prabhupada said once, if you are troubled by lust, what do? Just chant Hare Krishna. If you are troubled by lust, chant Hare Krishna. If you're troubled by anger, chant Hare Krishna. If you're feeling peaceful, chant Hare Krishna. If you're feeling happy, chant Hare Krishna. If you're not feeling happy, chant Hare Krishna. That is called a Hare Krishna movement. We underestimate the power of the Hare Krishna mantra. Attentive chanting, my spiritual master is known as Gopal Krishna Maharaj says, inattentive chanting is the cause of all problems. Attentive chanting is a solution to all problems. So put in all your energies into attentive chanting. One. Two, you can do deity worship for the Lord. Because Rupa Goswami says, by doing deity worship, you can overcome moha. Moha means I am the body, therefore I want to enjoy with the body, with the senses. So by performing deity worship, you understand that you are trying to please Krishna there. You're not trying to please yourself. During deity worship, you are more meditating on the Lord. Third thing that is mentioned is you can meditate on the area between the eyes of the Lord, between the eyebrows of the Lord. Third canto says that. That can help you overcome lust. Fourth thing is you associate with those people who don't have lust. Fifth thing is you stay away from passionate habits, including too much technology, internet, all these things. I can tell you one thing, before you sleep, half an hour before you sleep, switch off all gadgets. But sleep on time. Not that I sleep at 1 a.m., I'll switch off gadgets at 12:30 p.m. Half an hour before you sleep, switch off all gadgets. You should not be exposed to radiation. It weakens you. When you're weak, you commit wrong activities. Don't let the mind go weak. And stay with people who are really, really strong spiritually. And worship Tulasi. Jai Tumhara Sharanalai, Tara Vancha Purna Hai. Whoever takes shelter of you, their desires are all fulfilled. And you can pray to Krishna, like Prahlad Maharaj prayed to Narasimha Dev, that my dear Lord, granter of benedictions, Yadi Dasyasi me kaman varam swam varadarshaba, kamanam hridyasam ruham bhavadastu pranevaram. If at all you want to give me any vardhan, please take away the material desires from my heart. Pray to the Lord. Don't ask for anything, just take away my material desires. Material desires, then there is a problem. And ensure that you do some solid, you have a young body, so use it. There's a lot of passion. So dance a lot in Kirtan. Play Mridanga if you can, and do some hard work, physical labor for Krishna. I've told you 10 things. You can at least do 4 or 5 of them this time. I can't, there's no time. Yeah, there are many solutions. I told you 10. I didn't say you cannot sing Vaishnav Sangh. There are 100 more solutions. You can give Ekadashi. I said, don't give up passionate habits, do Sattvagun, Sattvic habits. So you conquered lust by singing Vaishnav songs. Already done? Done, no?
When we are engaging the dance and service in the Krishna, like when I'm doing a dance or anything, like it gives a thought that they're seeing me and I'm getting a, I'm not able to correctly say it.
So dance when there's nobody. Dance at a time when there's nobody. Say dance between 1 and 4 p.m. and temple is closed. If you want to dance for Krishna, dance for Krishna. Why dancing for the crowd? Srila Lokanath Swami Guru Maharaj says it is not easy to see Krishna ke liye gana bahut mushkil hai. Mushkil hai. But आप गाओगे नहीं तो कैसे? How will you be purified? मेरा एक फ्रेंड ने मेरे गुरु महाराज से पूछा था. उसने पूछा था महाराज मैं लेक्चर देता हूँ, सब बोलते हैं बहुत बढ़िया होता है, मेरा अहंकार बढ़ता है. तो महाराज ने बताया देते रहो सब चला जाएगा. सेवा ही नहीं करोगे तो कैसे शुद्ध होगे ना? At least start with the process of dancing for Krishna. Have that, pray to Krishna that Krishna, I want to dance for you. If I am getting any distractions, please protect me from the distraction. Dance for Krishna. Why will Krishna make you suffer? आपको क्यों लगता है कृष्णा ऐसे अलग जैसे ठीक है यार तुमको जो करना है कर लो, मेरे को मन नहीं कर रहा है? ऐसा नहीं है. Krishna is watching every moment. He's in your heart. Why will he not see your intent? He will not. ये यथामं प्रपद्यन्ते तां तथैव भजाम्यहम्. All of them as they surrender unto me, I reveal myself to them. You want to dance for Krishna, Krishna will zarra zarra आपके लिए काम करेगा. He will dance for Krishna. It's your desire. You should have a pure desire, then Krishna will fulfill it. Make sense?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So Prabhuji, we understand that we should not have any desire for the material well-being of ours, but
We should have desire for Krishna. You should have Trishna for Krishna. We should have Kama for Rama. If we try that at the same time, these desires will start going. But still, it is wise to pray to the Lord to remove material desires. Yeah. Now your question.
Yeah, can I go ahead? Yeah, so like,
No, but ask your question in this context.
like in for material well-being, for example, I need some good finances, good home, good this and good that. पहले हम बाहर कहीं और मांगते थे, अभी हम कृष्णा कॉन्शियस में आए तो मन करता है कि कोई नहीं तो चलो कृष्णा से ही मांग लेते हैं. So like, how to deal with that situation?
So if you want to ask Krishna, keep asking, no problem. There will come a time when Krishna will give it and you won't want it. There will come a time when Krishna will give it and you won't want it. Or there will come a time when you get it and you will know how to use it in Krishna's service. सिगरेट के लिए पैसा भी मांगना है तो बाप से मांगो, चाचा से मत मांगो, कोई देवी देवता के पास मत जाओ. बाप के पास पैसे के लिए जाओगे 4 थप्पड़ मारेगा. चाचा के पास जाएगा तो पैसा चलो चलो बेटा तू मेरे लिए भी एक लाना. तो देवी देवताओं के पास जाएंगे तो कामेश्वर जन प्रपद्यन्ते अन्य देवता. They may fulfill your material desires, but you get the karmic reaction. But you go to Krishna. Kubja wanted personal association of Krishna. He gave her personal association, but what did he make her? He made her completely purified. Isn't it? So, akama sarvakamo va moksha kama udarati tivrena bhakti yogena yajana purusham param. हमारी दिक्कत क्या है ना, हम सोचते हैं इस्कॉन में कृष्ण प्रेम से नीचे कुछ नहीं मिलता. इस्कॉन में कार भी मिलता है, घर भी मिलता है, सब सुख भी मिलेगा, लेकिन आप क्या मांग रहे हैं आपके ऊपर है. जब तक मांगना चाहते हो मांगते रहो, लेकिन साथ साथ जब भी करते रहो. एक हाथ में प्याला, दूसरे हाथ में माला. क्या जीतेगा? काय को डरना, करो, मस्त करो. फिर कुछ समय बाद तुम्हें खुद गिनेगा ना, तुम्हें क्या कर रहा हूं यार. स्वामिन कृतार्थोस में वरम ने आचे, मैं कांच के टुकड़ों के पीछे जा रहा हूं, सामने एक साक्षात हीरा खड़ा है. सो दैट इज व्हाई यू हैव टू आल्सो डू श्रवणम. ऑल द टाइम यू शुड हियर फ्रॉम शास्त्रा. योगा लैडर पढ़ोगे उसमें पता चलेगा. आदमी पहले शुरू करता है, मुझे ये चाहिए, मुझे ये चाहिए, धनम देही पत्नी देही सब मांगता है, पुत्रम देही, और उसके लिए यज्ञ करता है. फिर बाद में पता चलता है कि पत्नी को भी मरना है, तो उसे दुख आ जाता है. फसल कटना है, फसल भी कभी फेल हो जाती है, तो फिर अरे यार इसके बाद भी कुछ होगा, हाँ स्वर्गलोक जाना है. फिर पता चलता है ओ माय गॉड इंद्रा व्याकुलम लोकम मृडयन्ति युगे युगे, इंद्र के पीछे भी असुर लोग पड़ जाते हैं, तो वहां भी जाकर फायदा नहीं. फिर क्या करना है, ओ अच्छा वैकुंठ जगत में जाना है. So gradually through the process of hearing mantras, by chanting, by taking part in sacrifices, he progresses up the yoga ladder. Similarly, by associating with devotees, following the same process, even if you have material desires, लगे रहो. बाकी मत बोलूंगा, बाकी नहीं बोलूंगा, बट लगे रहो. जो भी भाई हो लगे रहो. Stay in the process. If you got into the train, stay in the train. बाहर निकल के कॉटन कैंडी मत खाओ. ट्रेन में बैठ गए इसी में रहो, पहुंच गए सही जगह. ठीक है.
Hare Krishna. We'd like to thank Projit. Projit in Hyderabad for TTC course, teaching TTC course. TTC means teachers training course. So Projit is training our teachers, congregation teachers and other things. And evening we got opportunity to hear from Projit on the sublime topic of death, and Projit sufficiently gave many different examples and prepared us for this final exam, which can come anytime. So I'd like to thank Projit by loudly saying 3 times. Haribo! 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 Now all duties can proceed to Dwarkapuri Hall for dancing kirtan and dinner prasadam. Thank you very much.
So you ask, basically everybody asked how was the lecture. Everybody said horrible, horrible, horrible.
Coming from very, very cold weather. If anybody want to ask anything, still.